Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitpatch.com, out here for another gear review, and today, talking gloves, these guys right here, which are the Presscheck Assault Gloves by SKD Tactical. So, what are they? Well, they're shooting gloves. If you're unfamiliar with SKD Tactical, they sell all kinds of tactical gear online, and they also make some products to include their pig gloves, patrol incident gear, a number of different kind of variations, whether it's their alphas, their deltas, their cold weather gloves, all kind of with some different features. And they also have these, which are a collaboration between SKD Tactical and Chuck Pressberg of Presscheck Consulting. And yeah, these have some kind of unique features going on. Back here on the gloves, we have a 550 cord pull tab, which is bar tacked, so it will not come undone. And there's kind of this micro suede material that the palm is made of. And then right here is this silicone material, which is the Warrior's Heart logo. More on that in a minute. And touch capacitive, both the thumb as well as the forefinger there. And coming over to the back, again, that Warrior's Heart logo. And right here, something different than some of the other gloves. This elastic piece actually goes further up on the hand, and this right here is a stretch on these gloves, the tan, and then right here is kind of this breathable mesh. And the fingertips themselves actually wrap all the way over, so you don't end up with a seam like right at the tip of your finger, which is nice. And then lastly, we have this little bite tab on the middle finger of the gloves. Something else of note, which honestly one of my favorite features, is this micro suede nose wipe built into essentially this area on the gloves, which is also on the pig cold weather gloves. I will say the cold weather gloves, it's a little bit softer, a little bit thicker than on these, but glad it's included, because if you spend lots of time out of doors when it's cold, that actually becomes really handy. You'll wipe your nose on that. So some of the things that are definitely unique to these gloves, and also just as a quick aside, sample size of 1, these for me do a really good job with the touch capacitive, both the thumb as well as the forefinger, compared to some of the other gloves. No idea why. For me that's important because running a camera, basically control it with the phone, but that's actually really nice. As I mentioned, there's a bite tab on here, so you can bite onto it and pull your gloves off if you're going to do that. And same with this, you can put them back on. Why is that there? Well, it's something that kind of LOT, logic order of thought, something that Chuck Pressberg operationally worked with CAG for years and years and years, and was constantly kind of pulling gloves off, putting them back on to deal with certain tasks. And so this basically facilitated being able to pull your glove off and put your glove back on without having to relinquish whatever was in your other hand, which, yeah, application-wise, depending on what you're doing, can be valuable. Obviously was to him, made it into this design. And something that aids in putting these on and off is this elastic material goes deeper than on some of kind of the other pig gloves. So we get to, I guess, how I've used these and how they've done for me. I have actually used these gloves a ton, this being my kind of original pair I got, which is, I don't know, well over a year old at this point. Do they wear out? Yes, they absolutely do. I'll show you kind of some of the high wear points. I ended up with these where they finally eventually gave out. And keep in mind, gloves are like, they're consumable on a certain level. It's not like, oh, bought a pair of gloves, they're good forever. Like, yeah, I bought a PMag, it's good for the rest of my life. No, like if you use things, they will wear out. So depending on how often you use whatever it is, to include gloves, then it'll depend on how quickly they wear out. Not to mention the actual application as far as, am I going to go split wood with these, or am I just going to use them on the occasional range day? And yeah, they have done a good job for me. Ironically enough, first place I actually used these was at a Presscheck Consulting night vision course down at the farm in Utah. And yeah, they did great down there. It was not warm out. It was definitely really cold. And while these are not cold weather gloves, they, in my experience, do a great job of, if nothing else, providing basically a contact glove. Because you either have thick gloves, which keep your hands warm, or you have thinner gloves, which give you more dexterity. It's a give and take. Like, there is no free lunch. Compromise. And so these do a good job while not necessarily keeping your hands warm. They give you enough dexterity and, again, contact, keep your hands from coming in contact with cold things like the metal of a gun. And you can largely do most tasks you could without gloves with these gloves on. And usually have some sort of knuckle roaster, so basically just keep your hands in it. Then when it's time to shoot, hands come out, they're still warm, and they don't immediately freeze when grabbing onto cold things like the metal of a gun. I've since used these quite a bit for all kinds of stuff, largely shooting or related tasks, jamming mags, things along those lines, and they continue to do a great job for me. Plenty of dexterity for all the controls, especially with the rifle. Of course, the real test with that stuff is manipulating a pistol. Being able to come in there and feel that trigger so you can actually break good, clean shots. And for me personally, these have done a really good job. Like, one of the best shooting gloves with respect to being able to actually tactile, again, feel that trigger and break good shots. As I mentioned, this is the pair I originally got and put in a lot of time with them, and you can see where they wear. Basically, along these inner seams, usually ends up wearing some, finally kind of giving away there. Same with this thumb seam on that guy there. And no, I mean, as I said, these have done a great job, but they are consumable. You use them until they get worn out, and like anything else, you just replace it at that point. Overall, I think these are a really solid shooting glove. They kind of have a conglomeration of some of my favorite features of the other pig gloves, as well as some new features, again, whether you use it or not. And I'd mentioned right here, as well as on the backside, Warrior's Heart Foundation. So pretty amazing nonprofit. There'll be a link down below if you want to go check it out. And it is something that kind of near and dear to Chuck Pressberg. So as a consequence, these gloves, you can get them directly through SKD Tactical, about $40, and 30% of each sale actually goes in support of the Warrior's Heart Foundation, which is pretty cool. Colors, I think 4 different colors, and sizes small through XXL. These for me are medium. And if sized appropriately, I want to say there's a sizing chart on there, they fit like a glove. They actually do a really good job. Again, part of it has to do with just construction. The fact that the fingertips come over and are stitched so you don't have extra material up front really aids a lot in doing fine tasks like fine motor skill stuff. And yeah, been really pleased with them. But there'll be a link down below if you'd like to check them out. And last but not least, if you appreciate my content, want to support it, greatly appreciate it. One of the ways is just liking and sharing videos, or you can support me directly through Patreon. Little as $1 a month, helps me go out, create more content for you, and gives you early access to videos, as well as access to our Discord. So if you have questions for me, happy to answer them over there. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.